Olympic class A final this morning, the women's pair. And what a race this is going to be. And the race will happen in lane 3 and lane 4 between New Zealand, who won the first women's pair event at the Henley Royal Regatta this year. They were both Prendergast and Gowler in the women's 8 in Rio last year, missing out on a medal, but here to take a gold.
Now we're just having a look across the crews. We've seen Germany in lane 1. That was Melanie Hansen and Lee Kathleen Kuna. Here we're having a look at the British pair, Holly Hill and Melissa Wilson. They've come out of the Coxless 4 to get into this Coxless pair for the World Championships. Here's that crew you're talking about from New Zealand. It's Grace Prendergast and Kerry Gowler. Strong favourites alongside these Americans. The cheer goes up for Megan Kalmo and Tracy Iser. They're going to be desperate to work out how to beat that New Zealand crew. And this crew from Denmark will be challenging to Hedvig Rasmussen and Christina Johansson. Got the bronze in Rio in the Coxless pair. And then we have the Spanish crew on the outside lane. Ana Buada Pyro and Anna Sid, who were 6th in Rio. So we're expecting a fantastic display of rowing, I think, from New Zealanders. I love their technique. I love the way they take it on. And really, for me, the thing is, can anyone challenge them here today at the Worlds?
Well, it was the USA who had the quickest time in the heats. Both heat winners, the USA and New Zealand, went through straight to this final. 7:06 for the USA, 7:08 for New Zealand. I don't really think that means anything for the final, but...
Yeah, well, in that race, the Danes pushed the USA crew the whole way. They were really battling it out. And let's really see what they can do today.
Attention. We're away in the first Olympic Class A final of this championship regatta, and it looks like the Danes, who popped out to an early lead there, just punching their bow ball off the start line, but now locked together in the middle of the course. All eyes will be on New Zealand and the United States of America throughout this race.
The Danes will lead, I think, through the 500 metres, unless New Zealand just get their bows in front. But they do love to go out very, very quick, this Danish pair. Hedvig Rasmussen, who you can see in the bows of the Danish pair furthest away from you. She took that medal in the Olympics. 3rd place behind the British. And new partner, Christina Johansson, has come in to replace Anne Anderson, but 23-year-old Kerry Gowler in the stroke seat there, impassive as ever. Behind her, the 25-year-old Kiwi Grace Prendergast from the South Island Avon Rowing Club.
And that's the familiar position we're looking to see the New Zealanders finding themselves in. They're going to want to start to ease away from the rest of the field. I think the big thing is, can the others stick with them, this Danish crew, putting the work in now to try and keep it really, really tight early on. And
Greg, you spoke about the technique of the Kiwis particularly, who have a really interesting rowing style, particularly Grace Prendergast. I know there's been a lot of commentary around the way that she rows, but I think it's easy to get fixated on what's happening on the bodies, but the amazing thing about the way the Kiwis row is just the smoothness and the flatness, and just how, I guess a bit of a Martin term here is unfussy. It is what they're doing.
Yeah.
And we've closed in here on the German crew. This is a new pair. This year they were 8th in Lucerne. They've done well to get into this A final, as we see the crews coming through 500. And it is the New Zealanders at the front and the Germans slightly struggling to keep with the pace.
Yeah, from the Hanover and Mainz clubs, respectively, coached by a Czech, Premysl Pancuka, would you believe?
I'm interested in the American crew here as well, Kalmo and Iser. They didn't go off too fast, and I'm wondering if they're going to need to make some kind of moves. We see them at 36 strokes a minute, as the New Zealanders are looking to just keep squeezing away.
Well, interestingly, in the Lucerne Regatta, the Americans were only 0.6 down on the Kiwis. The Kiwis moved out then. But I think this is the deliberate tactic. It must be, Greg, because we're going to see more from the Americans. They've got to back themselves as we ride there with the Danish stroke woman, Christina Johansson, 25 years of age. Fast starters, they'll find it tough at the finish. There come the Americans, number 4 on their bows.
The Americans up at 37 strokes a minute. So chipping it along a little bit shorter and a little bit faster than what we can see with the Kiwis. The Kiwis just look so long and flat. They're on 34 strokes a minute, and they make it look easy, even though not a single stroke of this race is.
No, it's not easy, and we can see that looking at the American pair here, they've made a sustained move where they've been up at 37 strokes a minute. You can see it's making progress against the Danish crew and pushing themselves up towards that silver medal. at the moment, the New Zealanders are still in control of this. And as you say, we talk about Kerry Gowler and in the stroke seat of the New Zealand pair, how still she holds her head, how impassive she looks, and the work is just going on in the water, moving the boat.
A lot of credit to their coach, Gary Hay, who of course coached the great New Zealand sculler Emma Twigg, and he works with his crew. And it must be a delight to work with. And both these women missed out, of course, in the Rio Olympics. They wanted to go in the pair, but they had to row in the New Zealand 8, and they got a 4th place. But now the New Zealanders on the top of their game.
As we look here at the Danish crew, I'm interested to see where the British are going as well. They're a new combination for this year, and they're going to want to try to be challenging for the medals here. But it's the Americans pushing on towards this silver medal and trying to get away from the British, get away from the races, and make sure they get themselves in the medal positions.
There's the British blade, the distinctive Union Jack. That's Holly Hill in the bows. Holly Hill, 23 years of age, from the Cambridge University Boat Club, got a silver medal just a year ago in the under